Jason Ward, not a Nuggies fan, and this is Rob, who's just like a sauerkraut guy now.
I'm a paint porg.
Rob, I'm not even kidding. I was gonna ask you. I was like, I made my little lunch after Santa's show today, and I took a little frozen burrito and I put it in the air fryer. And here's the thing, okay? I love going and eating Mexican food, and like when there's like a level of authenticity in how it's made. But when I eat a frozen burrito, I fucking put ketchup on it. I don't care on a frozen. Jesus. I will ketchup. Not a real burrito, mind you. Like if I went to like a real taqueria.
You're talking about like one of those Tia green burritos, like
exactly.
$1.
That shit. That's like the white trash part of me. That's just it's ingrained in me. You just put ketchup with that shit. And I was thinking, I was like, I wonder what the whitest thing Rob does, because like I think that might be my whitest thing is ketchup with frozen burrito. But then I think you answered it before I even got to ask you before the show. And that's now eat sauerkraut. Like
now I eat sauerkraut. Yeah. I didn't like it 3 days ago. I didn't like it. Now I love it. It's weird how that works. The gut is a mysterious, beautiful thing, Jason. Your gut biome it's all these midi-chlorians that are working in symbiosis.
Yeah, the last couple of days I was like, I decided like when I had free time I would rewatch Mando episodes. And that they kind of book, man. Like I watched like way more than I intended to or thought I could, like in the times that I had. And like a couple of things just like stuck out to me, like way more in watching the first 2 seasons together and like knowing it now. And it's like that little pig guy, you know, the Quill, whatever his name is. He's all like Mando's like, I thought he was a Strand cast, and he's all, nah, he's too ugly. You know, and he's so a Strand cast is like a clone basically, and so he's saying that Grogu's definitely not a clone. And then you got like the scientist Pershing's like, I need his blood. I need for the M, what do you call it? The M level or something like that, which is like midi-chlorian level, we could assume. And it's like he needs like another sample of the kid's blood and all that kind of shit. And I'm like as I was like watching it, I'm like, yeah, I think they're trying to make a little, you know, for the better lack of a term, you know, an AIDS cocktail for Palpatine, you know. And then like, and at the same time, like as the story goes on, you see like little Grogu, see like he's over there, he's like healing people. And I'm like, this guy could just heal Palpatine if they just why don't they just if they knew that, right? If they just knew that, they could. But like maybe that ability to like do that is like linked to it. But it's like all the stuff that sticks out, because when you watch the episodes, the shows don't tell you anything. They don't say very much. So when they do, it's like, well, it's very obvious what it's telling you. And so I think after I watch it again, I kind of want to make like before season 3, like a what we know, like what is the show telling us? Not wild fucking theories like, therefore it means this character from the High Republic. I don't mean any of that shit. I mean, like, what is it just straight up telling us in an Occam's razor kind of like outline where this is all going, you know? Because it's pretty easy. But anyways, enjoying it a lot more.
It's telling us that Filoni's name was Trapper.
Filoni Trapper?
Isn't that the character's name, Trapper?
Trapper?
Like his X-Wing pilot, right?
Oh, I don't even remember.
I think his name is Trapper, which was really great if you think about the way I portray him.
when I watched that moment, when I was watching that moment with where like Deborah Chow and Filoni and Famuyiwa like all like go and like blow up that prison shit, you know, with the one where they spring the people from like prison when they like attack the base. Like it sticks out way more to me now that we've seen them so much. Like when that first hit, you know, we didn't really see Deborah Chow and Famuyiwa. Like I was like, oh, I knew who they were, but I didn't hadn't seen them in the pop culture so much, you know. And so I thought that was kind of interesting.
They should deep fake George Irvin Kershner and Richard Marquand in like, you know, Ghost Squadron or some shit, you know, like all the fucking yeah, real smart.
But it was like I said, thank you, rural farm boys here, And he says Trapper Wolf. That's right.
His name is
That
Trapper, dude. Like you.
Trapper Keeper Wolf. His middle name has to be Keeper, right?
It's Trapper Keeper, dude.
That was the code for Willow. That was the production
Trapper Keeper was the code for Willow?
code. Mhm. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yep. But anyways, there was a little story here that I think was fun, interesting or whatever. Like, and it's Alden Ehrenreich on Solo. This is from IndieWire. Ehrenreich co-star Phoebe Dynevor and director Chloe DeMont spoke on the IndieWire studio at Sundance and Dropbox, and then so they talk a little bit. Hold on, let me go to the Solo bit on this article. So when Ehrenreich in the studio, IndieWire, of course, had to ask about his relationship to 2018's Solo: A Star Wars Story, in which he took on the origin story of Han Solo. One of the Star Wars universe's most iconic characters. While Ron Howard recently said that fans should not expect a sequel or follow-up of any kind from Lucasfilm, Ehrenreich said he's open to reprising the role. The story that I did, I really got to be Han Solo at the end. That's kind of the arc of the story, which I thought was well done. That's the fun part. That's the guy. That's the most fun to be. I'd be very happy to, but who knows, Ehrenreich said.
So he's confirming that the movie just fucking wasn't very fun. And at the very end, yeah, as I've been saying since day one.
Well, no, I don't know if he's saying that. He's saying
it's just like, come on, man, a World War I biopic with Han Solo is just a fucking dumb idea.
Biopic, God damn it,
biopic.
The story biopic sounds like you have like something to like a tumor to be removed.
Yes,
but he says I really got to be Han Solo. That's kind of the arc of the story. I think, which I thought was well done. He said I thought the story was well done. That's the fun part. That's the guy.
Well, he's gonna say that he wants a job. Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, Rob, but he's not saying it's bad. You're making it sound like he's saying it's bad. He's not saying that. No, he's not. He's like, if he was saying that, I'd be like, yeah, that's what he's saying. But he's not saying that.
Yeah, okay.
It's not what he's
saying.
Agree
to disagree.
He says that's the fun part. That's the guy that's the most fun to be. He said it's fun to be Han Solo. But the thing about it is for sure, two things are going to happen. Either they're going to make that stupid Lando show. Maybe it's good. Maybe it's not. I don't know. When I say stupid, I just mean not like freaking Lando. Come on. Or they don't. And if they do, then there's two more options. And that's that they get Harrison Ford to play Han Solo and they do some wacky de-aging shit again, like they did with Luke. That will ultimately just make us have uncanny valley moments, or they bring back Alden Ehrenreich. And like, I don't really know what the right answer is. Like, there was a quote from Kennedy I had that I don't have in front of me now. And it's her going like, her speaking out of both sides of her mouth. And in it, she basically says, yeah, that's on the art that I put out the other day, Foundry. She basically says like, yeah, we're not going to be recasting Luke Skywalker unless we have like a really good reason. So no, we're not going to do it unless we have to. Like, it's basically not saying one way or the other. But people were taking that like it was gospel, like this was definitive. And it's like they've already recast Han Solo. They actually already recast Luke Skywalker too. Just Abrams cut it from the from Force Awakens, from the Bespin duel. And so, point being, I think it just really at the end of the day depends on what they want to do when they get to that next crossroad. And if you ask my opinion, if they make Lando, they're going to want to put Han Solo in Lando at some point. Wouldn't you agree that would be unless like the premise is very left
I don't agree.
You really you don't think that they would instinctively have the
they'll put Bacta in Han Solo before they put fucking Han Solo in.
Dude, they'll put fucking Bacta in a fucking environment video.
Let's be honest, Bacta is the sauerkraut of Star Wars. Right, like
you like it now? You didn't like it?
I like it now. Yeah, I wanted it every series.
Yeah, I kind of think if they would do a Han Solo series, it's really, really hard to not touch on Han Solo if they do a Lando Calrissian series.
I
I
want a
think
bad
they
back to
would want to,
series.
because if there's any
Yeah.
kind of character who would fit that, like that archetype or anything close to it, you don't go throw in like a generic Han Solo in a Lando story, right?
Why not? Oh, no, get John C. Riley to be Han Solo.
Old John C. Riley.
Yeah.
Hey, Han Solo. What am I doing here?
Look,
Uh,
Boogie Nights told he told me he looks just like him. I think
I honestly would not mind John C. Riley in Star Wars if he was wacky or serious. I like that guy. I think he would. I think
he was in the Nova Corps, right?
What?
Guardians of the Galaxy. He was in Nova.
Oh,
Corps.
right. That's right. Yeah, yeah, he
Just
wasn't.
haven't brought him back yet.
Yeah. Hey, Eric drops this. Ron Howard did an interview the other day with Solo. He said he wasn't a producer and he's out of the loop, and that he thought Kira would be a great character to work on into the current Disney series. And he's not wrong, but I feel like once they put her in the comic books, I feel like they closed down a lot of the potential in live action for her and that stuff. You know what I mean? Like there's always a chance they could just go, you know what? It turns out in the comic books that was a clone of Kira. Like they could just do something ridiculous like that if they had to. Like, but I think that it speaks to the intention of Lucasfilm, and I don't think the intention is to use Kira anymore. Or there would be a moratorium on using that character in the ways that they have, because the ways that they've used her in the comics are big. Like it's not stuff you could easily unravel. There's like whole like 20-part comic issues that all link up based around
but
that.
They don't really count.
They do count, but they do. They Rob, there has not been a time so far where they've actually gone and erased it. The one that we're waiting on right now is K2SO and Cassian's first meeting. And based off of what that show has been so far, Andor, he may just be there. They may just actually skip it.
Oh no, he'll redo that, and then when it works, they'll go. Oh, they'll realize. Oh, these fucking comics, you can just do whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but that's not. But there is absolutely no evidence for that yet. That is like of anything significant. Everything that's been off or wrong has been very minute stuff. Like Caleb Doom's lightsaber was supposed to be blue here, and now it's not, or something like that. It's been like incidental. I would even say just fucking gaff at the end of the day. And then, oh, well, fuck it. We can't fix it now kind of situation or scenario. But point being is I'm talking about intention. It doesn't even matter what we think about that stuff. My talk or my thinking is intention. If you have something on the back burner for Kira, you don't let the comic book people touch her, right? You just wouldn't do it. You'd just be like, no, you can't do it. Sorry, we're just going to say no to that. And then they wouldn't. Just like Han Solo and young Han Solo before the Solo film. Want to do a comic book on young Han Solo? No, can't do it. We have a movie coming out, and there's too much there. And even to speak to that was Ragtag for a time with Buck. There was a character named Buck in the Ragtag game that was Dodger Boom's mentor, and he came a little bit close to Woody Harrelson's character from Solo: A Star Wars Story, and they said we want you to rethink that. So it's like
I know is A.C. Crispin's Han Solo trilogy is far superior to that movie. So.
I don't know, man. I don't know how to read, Rob. Okay, you want to fucking bring that up right now? That you want to turn this into it?
And you're academia, so.
Well, yeah, I mean, text to speech, bro. I mean, come on. But no, so yeah, I think though, I personally think if they were to put Han Solo in, I think if it's the Jon Favreau side of things producing that series, they may be inclined to deep fake Harrison Ford. They may go that way.
Sounds so sexual.
Right. Just go
Sorry,
deep on point.
I rarely go there. You and Meg, you won't stop, but that time it.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, like if it's made if it's made like if Lando happens, it's made over here, and John Favreau is like the executive producer, or like they're using this stuff over here. I'm gonna say good chance on the old deep fake, and then I'm gonna say if they film it over in the UK, like where they're filming Acolyte and stuff, I just feel like there's less pool for that, and maybe they would bring back Alden Ehrenreich. I kind of think if it's set really close to when the Solo a Star Wars story movie takes place, I would rather they just go and bring back Alden.
The
If
only
it's
person I
if it
want to
takes
see
place
them bring
later,
back from
or
a movie right now is that dude with the mustache in Rogue One. I want to see him back in the Andor season 2.
the
The
pilot,
X-wing pilot. Yeah.
he's the best.
Isn't he?
He was in the Exorcist television series as I think like the main priest or whatever. He was really good. Yeah, I saw like remember when the I don't know if you saw it, but there was like a Rogue One like sticker book or whatever it came out. And, like,
You
it had
nerd.
Yeah, I know. No, but it had him in there.
No, hey, you want to do that I'm so white shit? You
Oh yeah.
bring up sticker books when you're 44.
Oh, I'm fucking 43. How have you know? And I'm eating my fucking little chimichanga. I got some fucking ketchup on the side right here. I'm dipping it in. Look at the sticker book. I'm like, that guy has a fucking sweet mustache. This is my new favorite nobody character. But I was actually bummed when he died in the movie. I was like, man, I was kind of hoping this guy would like have a little bit of a feature because he's a good actor,
Yeah.
But as Andor showed us, fucking, I didn't think I was ever going to see the further adventures of Melchi either. And look at him.
Yeah, I hope that dude comes back.
So there is a chance that you could have a story with that guy down the road and a big old adventure and X-wing pilot stuff, and then he just dies in Rogue One. That's it, Or maybe he just got. Thank you. Baymax says Blue Leader Antok Merrick.
Thanks,
that was
man.
him. Yeah.
I just call him Chips. I just call him Chips guy because he's so fucking like someone who should have been in Chips.
Well, I was gonna say now you know what I'm talking about.
He's a Blue Chips.
As the truth says, I had plenty of Bayformers, Clone Wars, and Bionicle sticker books. But were you a 40 or a 30? How old was I when that came out? Like 38 or 37-year-old man eating a chimichanga with some ketchup and a sticker book, going like, sweet stash, bro. Pretty good.
So I'm white trash, and when I had an apartment back when I was younger,
so I'm white trash, and
yeah. And so what I would do is I always want to have. I had some friends, that I could always con into doing work. But what I would do is I would just keep my freezer stocked with those dollar burritos.
Yeah.
So whenever they came over to do work, I'm like, help yourself to some burritos as many as you want. Like, they make like 4 or 5 of them. I could feed. I could get a lot of work done out of my white trash friends for those dollar burritos, man.
Yeah. No.
Green chili.
I mean, it's like a habit just out of life where I just buy that shit and like top ramen. I'm just like, this is like just in case food. No, it's always I don't really eat it because like I want to eat it. It's like just in case food,
You should get into sauerkraut.
That's fair. Revenge guy says, I adore you guys. You might want to have a take old Revenge guy aside though, because it sounds like he's gonna like be missing Avatar 2 in 3D, and I know how you feel about that, and I know what you might want to say to him.
They made $1 billion in 3D.
Mm-hmm.
The 3D tickets alone. So yeah.
I've seen it in 3D and not in 3D, and see it in 3D. Yep. I would say Revenge Guy. I know it'd be hard, but if it comes out like on Blu-ray, whatever the fuck it is, just don't watch it. Just wait. I think it will be re-released before 3. I think they'll do a weekend.
It's going to be in theaters for at least another 50 days. Go see it.
Yep, you got time.
It's only been in fucking 5 weeks. Like we're talking about these things got to last at least 8. You got at least 3 to 5 more weeks to go. Go.
He says he can't make it. Okay, now I think you're making a choice. Now I think you're making a choice. I don't think
Yeah,
you're just saying it.
your book. What are you, revenge?
Yeah, what are you on
Revenge
tour?
guys? What are you on fucking tour?
Revenge Guys East Coast tour?
My brother's on tour. He's got time to go see this shit. Like, he's legitimately a musician. What the fuck? Yeah. Dude, his band, they went and got the fucking camper, man. They're doing the cross country
Are they?
camper. Yeah. I should have sent you pics. I'll send you after the show.
Is he aware that yet they changed the acronym of UAP?
No. But you know, he's in a couple different
anomalous.
bands. Huh? What?
It's now unidentified anomalous
Anomalous. Yeah, I don't think
Yes.
that matters.
Instead of aerial, because that way they could. But this is the new hotness of the day from Jeremy Corbell.
I don't know about this one, Jason.
Oh no, no, I think I'm leaning a little bit towards there's some people who really want this stuff to be real rather than people that are like objectively looking at the stuff as if it's real. Like
This ain't the same as seeing the triangles during the Phoenix Lights. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, exactly. Like I sent this to my dad, right? My dad's like, "Hey, do you think it's real?" And then my response to my dad, which I'll give to you guys, was could be a pothole, a raindrop, a balloon, so many more likely things than a flying orb. They'd have to give more details about the object in the video it's from to really make a smart guess. Like that's, but this is the one. But I honestly kind of feel like this might be actually more harmful than helpful. I don't know if this is going to make people excited for the UFO topic and government disclosure and transparency, because it's like shit like this makes me kind of go
Mile-long
like,
black triangles interest me. Weird orb in the middle of the sky, I don't fucking care. Like,
yeah. And it's supposed to be from a video, and I like to see the video and
yeah, I don't know
stuff.
about this one, Jason.
Yeah. No, I know.
No.
Yeah, this is like the big one of the, I don't know, of the day, of the month, or whatever. But also, remember when there were those triangles that were flying around the ship, around one of the Navy ships, like all these like triangles in like night vision?
Yeah.
They were able to go and they were able to conclusively debunk that one. They debunked it by it's like lights on drones, and the way that the lens on those cameras turns them into triangles. So people were like, "Oh, there you go, it's flying triangles." But no, it's not. When you're there, it's just light. And so, anyways, this is from the same source as that, and I just think that is is what it is. I'm not super. I wasn't really that excited by that one.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty stupid, actually. I don't really.
Oh no, we haven't seen
not,
you in a long time.
No, well, I've been making repro graphics and selling used chemistry sets and watching Andor. I just watched Andor. It's pretty good. Reminds me of the time I got stuck in a prison once in Vegas. Yeah, remember Vegas?
Bobby Laser.
Yeah, well, you know. Yeah, I've been in Omicron position for 12 hours doing the Kama Sutra. So.
Trying to get that self suck in. the Bob Lazar self suck.
Well, it couldn't hurt.
It could actually. It really could hurt. I tell you, it would hurt. It would hurt how productive I am if I could do it. I'll tell you that much. So,
I'm a big fan of Corbell. Yeah.
Corbell, Taco Bell, I love it all.
I like Taco Bills. I like it.
So, Star Wars Skeleton Crew Department begin to wrap. Additional filming to continue until next month. This is from Bespin Bulletin.
Is that guy hiding from the producer?
Which one?
That photo? The guy in the photo. The guy who's hiding behind the jacket. Is he hiding from the?
Oh, that's
the producer.
That's Jude Law.
Taskmaster. Yeah, is he hiding from the Taskmaster? Like
no, he's Jude Law. He's fine. Actually, fine. Like I said, some of the actors a little bit like I'm the actor, you're this. There's a little bit of that like film set case system going on.
Sure.
Supposedly Jude Law, not like that at all. Jude Law.
Oh, he's a Midge.
Jude Law is super nice, and
That's good.
is what pretty much I've heard across the board. Same thing with Ewan and Jude Law
Gigolo
both.
Joe.
Hello, Joe. That was from AI, right? That was his character in AI.
Yes.
I haven't seen that in years. Um,
You're fine.
yeah, I know.
You're fine. Yeah,
I
it's
know.
okay.
Yeah, the blue fairy, whatever. All right. So if this is from Best Bulletin, as of a few hours ago, the stunts department working on Skeleton Crew seemingly concluded their work on the upcoming live-action Star Wars series. The news came courtesy of the series stunt coordinator George Cottle, who took to Instagram and wrote, "That's a wrap on Skeleton Crew. Once again, I was lucky enough to be surrounded by some of the most amazing stunt performers I've ever worked with. I feel so lucky to have worked with you all. Thank you all for your hard work and dedication. So excited for this one." And thank the series producers Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, along with series creator and director John Watts. Cottle's post contained many congratulatory comments from fellow stunt performers who worked on the series, who all seemed to confirm they individually concluded their work on the series. However, it's only the stunt department I can find evidence of wrapping on the series today. But this is a sign pointing to the right direction that principal photography on the series will wrap shortly, if it hasn't already, which it hasn't. I reached out to sources to ask if the series had already wrapped, and I'd heard the series was aiming to finish completely by March. See right there, that's next month. And was told by these sources that there was planned pickups and additional footage taking place throughout the rest of January and February. But I must stress that this is a normal part of the filmmaking process. I know every single time we do this, it's somebody's first rodeo, and then it just kicks it all up, you know. Pickups and additional pickups and additional photography taking place once a series or film has wrapped isn't uncommon, and it's happened on The Mandalorian season 3. And I'm even gonna take it back and say this has been happening since the fucking Phantom Menace. Like there was always been reshoots have always been a part of the process where they put it together and they're like, what do we really need to
remember,
fix this?
I always bring this up, but maybe some of the newer listeners don't remember.
Yeah.
But remember the whole rumor on the Phantom Menace that the footage was blurry. It was out of focus.
Yeah. That was one of the dumbest rumors of all time.
People forget that one. And a cool news ran with it.
When Rogue One was happening, and I reported that they were going to be filming about 40% of the movie again.
Yeah.
Pablo Hidalgo went out and tried to make these comparisons to that. Like that was the new version.
Oh, he wheeled that one out.
Oh yeah. And then the motherfucker deleted his fucking whole Twitter account afterwards and got rid of all of those tweets and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like that's what he does. But it was like, no, this is literally what happened. And then you have Tony Gilroy now going oh yeah, that movie was fucked up, man. Then I came and I just erased the whole fucking thing. And it's just yeah. So maybe I don't know. We're all learning on the job though. Maybe Pablo will learn.
He's on the job for 20 years.
Well, yeah, but it was an irrelevant job of being in a company that produced cartoons sometimes. You know what I mean? As opposed to films, his job, that guy's job, everybody's job at Lucasfilm dramatically changed around 2012 from whatever it was before then. He had been on the Revenge of the Sith and stuff like that, sets and stuff. But then they just were, they weren't doing anything. I'm
gonna be honest. I always put them in the Steve Sansweet kind of category of people. They're kind of like fans who got a job there somehow, kind of thing.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And Sansweet's, to his credit though, is never tried to cover for the company that I know.
No, from what I just mean, it's not like a how do I say? It's not like a producer. I don't know. You know what I mean? In the same category as if there's tiers. He's not Pablo's not a Filoni, right?
No, he's not. He's not a. I would say I wouldn't say his job doesn't sometimes come with creativity and that there isn't some creativity involved, when he's doing those guides and stuff, but he's not an actual primary creator of Star Wars. He's a curator and works in deals with their archives and then was the brand manager for a time. I don't think he's a brand manager anymore. But
he runs the Wax Museum.
So Skeleton Crew was created by John Watts, Spider-Man No Way Home, and Christopher Ford, Chaos Walking, and focuses on a group of children lost in the galaxy attempting to find their way back home. The series is led by Fantastic Beasts, Secrets of Dumbledore, and Captain Marvel star Jude Law, and is expected to release sometime this year exclusively on Disney Plus. And that last part, that expectation, I can see it happening, but they usually like to have about a year. Like they usually, these things are started and then done, and it takes about a year. And the only thing that makes me think that maybe it will come out still this year is the fact that a lot of the visual effects work was already done. These reshoots don't necessarily involve the visual effects work, so there's a chance that it could still happen.
It's shot in the volume.
Shot in the volume, and then also has some location shooting, and also the visual effects sequences were probably like well underway already.
So you know the Bon Jovi song, "Shot in the Volume." It's gonna be late. Your production went over something. I don't have it worked out yet, but you know what I mean. Shot in the volume.
Really? No.
But all the visual effects are done. It's gonna look lame.
It should be everything shot in the dark. That's what it looks like half the time when they use the volume.
You're right. No, shot in the dark.
No, you know what? When I rewatched Mando yesterday, the big difference between
Greg Fraser,
between season 1 of Mando and Kenobi, is that Kenobi attempted daylight a hell of a lot more, and that's where it falls apart. But then on the flip side of it, Boba Fett went too dark. They're like, nah, it's pitch black out here. You can't see shit. And then that also led, so it's like Mando, it's like right in the middle. Things are like at dusk or they're at dawn, you know?
There was a lot of uselessly bright shit in Boba Fett. I don't know what you're talking about.
Right. But a lot of the volume stuff is like when they're like in the fire, like at the camp and stuff and shit, like the real big moments, there's just like a lot of bleakness behind it. And that just makes for a boring frame. And then, so anyways, my point is that Mandalorian, people are like, oh, welcome Mandalorian does everything just as much. It just picks the time of day to set those moments more. And to be fair, there's certain moments that Kenobi had to make that stuff, had to set that time in, and which made it a bad show to use for the volume. And that's the fact that, like, you know, they have to like do stuff at certain, you know, in the daytime on Tatooine. They should have just,
bro, they literally live in the fucking desert. The whole fucking thing's set in the desert. They could have fucking shot in the desert. Like, this is not hard.
No, it's not. No, you're not wrong in that the desert's not far from us, but people are not going out and filming in Death Valley and driving home every day. That's not going to happen. There's not enough on long set days, stuff like that. They'd have to like literally make camps or put people in hotels, motels. It would just cost way more than it costs now. But I'm of the opinion that they should have done it. But there's the price point on the show from what it was to what it was.
Yeah, they had spent the money, they would have got a lot of people.
Well, they did get a lot of people. But
they would have doubled what they got.
I don't know. I don't know if
winning cures everything, Jason.
No, what I'm trying to say is it wasn't Tatooine moments that broke the show, was it? Or that hurt the show. It was more like the Darth Vader duel in the fucking like that set. Like that should have been like a really good set. And
it was
that
like some horrible makeup on the Inquisitor and blah 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 blah.
Yeah, I don't. I think that's more of. I think the Inquisitor makeup shit is more of like fans fucking take that shit downtown to Weird Town. I think
I have no stake in that game. It looks bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sorry.
What game? Oh, no, I don't know.
I don't care about the cards. I'm not even interested. I'm telling you, it looks bad.
Yeah. Look, if that was just a new character, I don't think anybody would say a fucking thing about it.
My wife thought it was pretty bad. She didn't know what the fucking Inquisitor was. So.
Yeah, because fake fan. No, but...
I'm a paint porg, so what do I know?
Make says new tease from the Kiner brothers for the Bad Batch. What is it this time? There's violins. The music is dramatic. You know, I'm curious. But just a gif of the ancient aliens, dude. Oh. the one with the hair, that guy. I don't know. I don't know what Revenge Guy says. He agrees with Jason. I don't know about what, but you sound right to me. Uh, Baymax says, "Is Rob on his 5th or 6th complete Clone Wars rewatch?" I think it's at least the 7th. So, KG says it just all came across cheap looking in Kenobi. Yeah,
There you go. Cheap. It
yeah,
looks cheap.
yeah.
That's it.
No,
And I gotta tell you, man, when I'm watching that Mando trailer, don't look cheap.
mm-mm. No. Mando knows how to. Like I said, Mando is able to create the settings that it needs that aren't identifiable or like are new, but at the same time,
Yeah, but
I'm
even like just bro, like even like look, even like in the Boba Fett had that at least had that fucking Moss the Espa the sinkhole city shot, right? Like they spent some money on that shot. That looks great. Kenobi don't have one of those shots.
right. But when I
Alderaan's
watch,
kind of close, but
I think a lot of this has a lot to do with the limitations of that technology, and maybe the suits thinking, oh my god, we could do anything with this. Because when you
well,
watch Mandalorian though, and you look at like what they do on the first 2 seasons of Mandalorian, it all looks the same. I get confused if that's Tatooine or Navarro at times, and or the other planet that Quell's on, especially between like that and Tatooine. Like it all looks the same, and I think that's because they kind of figured out like if we use sort of like if we kind of do this, the shit works. And then
yeah, but that doesn't you don't
I just
look
don't.
at it and then turn the show off, you know? So
No. But it all does look the same, and so you end up going. And I right now, my take is the volume's pretty neat, but it's very limited, and it's not as
Kenobi don't
amazing.
have a mud pit fight.
You know, mm-hmm.
Mud pit fight.
Mud pit fight, the like what the old mud horn,
Yeah.
and then like the mud horn. That's another one where I'm just like, why wasn't that just the Reek? If you're gonna do the Reek from fucking Attack of the Clones, just do the Reek from Attack of the Clones. Confusing to me. You know, it's just so fucking.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Game of Thrones. Like I was like, the
Oh
Reek.
no, no,
Get,
that
gonna get
the
Albie
Reek from
Allen
the
or
arena. It's like
right?
so like the same thing. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's like it's so close. So I'm like, whatever.
Okay. Well, hey man, that's how I feel about the Nemodians and the Duras. But what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do?
Yeah. Well, that was George wanted to use the Duros, and then going no. You have to do something different because I'm going to change. I'm going to change so much about it. No, but I kind of like that to an extent though. Like when they go to change something so much that they do make it something different, and it's like in that instance right there, he was like it was because they were being sort of like shaped a little bit more like battle droidish at early on, and then but what you end up with is like ultimately they just should have been Duros. Like, what's the difference?
No, no, Jason. I told John Knoll I wanted the Duros to sound like George Takei, and he gave me a Nemodian with a racist accent. I don't understand. It,
Right.
lost in translation. I don't know. Yeah.
George, a couple of times when I've been talking to people from Lucasfilm who knew you, they'd always go like, for some reason, he really thinks accents are funny.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what they'd
aren't
always
they?
say about you.
Yeah. Top of the morning, matey. Yeah.
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 It's kind of funny, I guess.
I used to run around Club Obi-Wan on that set and do some. I can't do it anymore. It'd get canceled. But you know, you can imagine. You can
Yeah.
imagine.
Crazy that Short Round is up for an Academy Award, right?
Yeah.
Is that
Well,
what it is?
I take credit for that. You know.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah. Yeah. I know.
Jake Lloyd, did you get credit for Jake Lloyd too?
Well, can't best 1 out of 2. You know.
Yeah. I actually kind of hope. I actually really do hope that like Jake Lloyd kind of has a story like him someday, if he wants it. You know. That,
Yeah,
like,
I wish the best for on any. I mean, the guy didn't do. Kid didn't do anything wrong. You know, he's a victim of a lot of unfortunate circumstance. Even,
mhm.
especially plus, he's in like the cruelest country for any form of mental or substance abuse support that you can get. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we live. So, yeah. I mean, if he's able to get the proper support, wants to get back into acting, well, yeah, I totally support that.
Yeah, I cannot for the life of me understand how somebody with schizophrenia can, you know, go to prison under a delusional like episode. That's just so insane, for lack of a better word. It's just like I just don't get how that could happen. I don't. I guess I must not know all the details, but it does not sound like it was very fair. You know.
Yeah, I know. It just breaks my heart. You're bumming me out, Jason.
Sorry. KG says I didn't think his acting was bad at all for a kid. Yeah, I could see
No.
what they were. No, see, here was the whole thing.
He
Like
had the look. It's when he talks.
the whole time everyone's like, "Why isn't he Haley Joel Osment?" It's like they weren't going for that. They weren't going for like the deep dark little weirdo. They were going for like a Lost in Space like yippee, and that's
they
what
were
they
wrong.
got. No, okay, but that's not Jake Lloyd being bad. That's Jake Lloyd literally doing what he's supposed
Lucas
to do.
cast the wrong kid. Yeah.
No, it wasn't that Lucas cast the wrong kid. Lucas was going to direct any kid that way. Any kid that had that role, even if it was Haley Joel Osment, was going to be like, yippee, wizard. Like that.
No, if he'd got that older kid, he would have shut up and he'd have been banging Padme. He'd been, you know what I mean? He'd be partying with Sam Jackson, the older kid.
Yeah,
He wore the denim jacket to his. Come on, the kid was wearing a denim jacket in '99. You know that kid? He partied. He knew what to do.
Now, remember there was that video of him talking about the experience, about how he ended up on the documentary that everybody knew.
Yeah, he was so glad he didn't get the job after seeing what.
He was pretty upset, I think, about being in the documentary.
Oh, right.
Because he ended up just like getting a bunch of shit like about that. Like, and I think that might be sort of another one of those scenarios where lesson learned on the job. Like, don't do that. I don't think anybody had ever done that. So then
putting kids auditions in the making of, and then letting everyone see them not get a role. It kind of, it's not the same thing, but in terms of boneheaded like decisions, I remember back in I'm not going to tell that story right now. Like, never mind. That could get me in trouble. Like, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, don't get yourself in trouble. As the truth says, the recent comments from Daisy have been fantastic. Horrible, stupid retcon questions, and she answered it perfectly.
I need employment. I need a job. They're not hiring. Why hasn't she been in a Knives Out movie? I'm a little dumbstruck by this one. I thought her and Rian got along pretty well. I think she should be in a Knives Out.
Oh no, because it's Ryan Johnson. Rian Johansson. He's making the
Spoons Out.
No,
Sporks Out.
And Angela Lansbury Mister.
Yeah. Daisy really could be Murder, She Wrote again. More Murder, She Wrote. Murder she typed. Murder she texted. Murder she text.
Right,
Murder she chat GPT. Or GP or whatever.
Makes sense. Forks Out.
Forks out.
Yeah. There's been the usual suspects out there kind of sharing like the misinfo or pretending that they like it's their source and their scoop from the things that the trade said or things that Snyder said. And it's like, yes, they are making another Star Wars movie. Yeah, it'll be out in 2025. And it could have Rey in it. But the stuff about sequel trilogy, like if you took what those people are saying, they're basically trying to make it sound like Kathleen Kennedy's been fired, but she's still getting everything ready before she gets fired, which doesn't make sense. That's not what she would do. She would fucking just say, kiss my ass and walk. And, but basically, none of that stuff is really true. I don't think people should I don't think they should get their hopes up so much on this cameo thing from Rey, because while it could happen, it doesn't mean it's going to happen in the first movie. It doesn't mean it's going to happen at all. Will it probably happen? Probably. But will it be significant? Might not be. And right now, we don't even know what the premise of it is. Like, I'm just making this up. What if it's about the fucking Hoth bobsled team? Why is Rey going to be there? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what the movie is.
Cool Rebels.
Yeah. I mean, if it's about X-Wing fighter pilots, for instance, if it's like Rogue Squadron set at that time, why would Rey be there? And if she is, it won't be significant, stuff like that. But I do think they will use those characters in some way. I do think that I am embedding that they
You know,
will be. But that's
if
just
she
a
needs a
bet. That's not.
job, they're always hiring at Galaxy's Edge for a Ray, impersonator.
Ray wouldn't do that. So she's like, "What the fuck, dude? Come on! I know I
What
would
if she
do that."
showed up in Ray outfit and they escorted her off for not being staff, and that was a news bit, right?
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I kind of think like the biggest opportunity for it though would be if it's like a Jedi based show. If it's about a next generation of Jedi or young Jedi or people that are learning or coming up in that era, as that interim era when there's not really a Jedi Order, but still got to make Jedi somehow, and people got the power and that kind of stuff. And if that's where they're going with it, I think that's cool. I like the idea that the First Order wasn't wiped out in Episode 9, because when you watch Episode 9, in Exegol, most of the First Order probably wasn't there. Like, we do see that shot of like a Star Destroyer blowing up over Endor or one of the moons of Endor, or whatever the fuck it is, and which seems to imply they took the rest of it down, but it's just an implication that some of it got attacked. So that there's a pretty good chance.
Are you saying a lot of something didn't really happen in that movie? It probably doesn't really matter at the end of the day, and it's kind of a net zero and you kind of a wash. Yeah, that's about a JJ normal.
I mean, what you end up walking away with is Rey became a Jedi. Luke and Leia have now passed on. The old guard are completely, truly gone, and that generation is now responsible for the future. And then okay, cool. And then whatever this stuff does is, what matters. And I'm hoping that they do pick it up, and it is fun, because like I said, 9 is just okay for me. I don't really love it, and so if I'm able to go on to the next thing with those, because I like the characters. If I'm able just to move on with the stories, I think it ultimately like helps me enjoy 7 and 8 more, because I like 7 and 8, but 9 kind of makes me not want to watch 7 and 8 as much. And I think once they start doing more, I'll be more inclined to enjoy those ones a bit more, like I used to before 9 came out. When you just feel like that's it, that's all of it, you're like, well, all the wasted potential.
I just hope if they put when they put Rey back in a movie, I just don't want to hear about like whether she wants to make a decision or not about her life. I'm tired of this. I don't want a whole fucking saga hung on any one character wondering whether they're going to do something with their life or not. It's not enough. I'm just tired of it.
No, with her being the last Jedi now, clearly she knows what she has to fucking do with her life. So if they were to take it in that direction, that would be horrible.
It's like trying to take the first 20 minutes of the Harry Potter first film and drag it out over 9 fucking movies. I just want to throw my head into a wall.
Yeah. Suck. Thank you for the super chat, Suck. Suck says Daisy does have a film at Sundance this year. Oscar? I haven't heard anything about what Oscar's doing right now. And now, if you're asking, would Oscar Isaac do Star Wars again? I think he definitely would, because I don't think he's like, if he wants to act, I think that would be good for him to do one, because then, for every, what was that movie he did? Llewellyn Davis or whatever? What the fuck it was with
Age of Apocalypse?
No, the one that he did, like I'm saying, like those like A24 style films. If he wants to do those, he's got to do some of those big Hollywood movies too, if he wants to keep any kind of star power going. And he's going into Marvel, right? Doesn't he have like a Marvel character lined up, I think?
Well, he's Moon Knight.
Yeah. Oh, it was just Moon Knight, right? That's right. Yeah. It was just Moon Knight. And I don't know.
I guarantee you, if they said come back as Apocalypse, he'd do that shit too. That dude will do anything for money. I don't. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. He's not. Look, he's a cool actor, but like, he's not at the level, that he's not like an Emmy level, or Oscar level fucking dude. He's not. I'll be honest. He's not an Adam Driver.
Not Oscar worthy.
He's not at Adam Driver level. Think about that. I'm saying that right now. So.
I think he kind of is, is an Adam Driver level in a way, but not. But at the same time, he's not really having Well, Adam Driver's had a lot of bombs lately too, though. You know, I think. But yeah, Ex Machina, Inside Llewellyn Davis is what I was thinking about. A most violent year. So okay, what do we got here for 2022? Case 63 was a podcast series. Why is that? That's on IMDb. They're putting podcasts now. Moon Knight, Big Goldrick, Adam's Family 2. He was the voice of Gomez. So he really doesn't have a lot. There's really actually
he
not
should
a
be
lot.
Gomez. He shouldn't be the fucking voice of Gomez. This is ridiculous.
I like that Gomez, the guy who they have playing Gomez in the new one, that reminds me of actual Gomez from the comic strip a little bit.
Oh, sure.
Kind of has that look.
Sure.
But yeah, but that's sailed. That's already a thing now. So yeah, Scenes from a Marriage was in 2021. That's Family 2 in 2021. Big Gold Brick in 2022, which I did not see. Moon Knight, which was all right. He wasn't bad in it. And then Case 63, Peter Rolter in a podcast. It says podcast series. So I guess
he's got a podcast. So there you go.
Okay, upcoming, Francis and the Godfather, London, Metal Gear Solid as Solid Snake. Oh shit, he's Solid Snake.
Yeah, sure.
That's what it says.
Made. Yeah,
so it says it's in pre-production.
That thing's in pre-production. It's like a Highlander movie. It's just been in endless production forever. Like,
maybe 11, probably won't. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is in post-production. He's Miguel O'Hara.
Yeah, 2099.
But basically, Metal Gear will take it off the table. And then
what if Adam Driver gets Metal Gear? And then he's like, ha
yeah.
Yeah.
Ha-ha. Look at my barrel. Look at my barrel chest. That's how you would say it too.
Yeah, took your shit. I drink your Solid Snake shake, right?
Yeah. I think he'd be a good Solid Snake though. It's not a crazy casting. I can see him doing it.
I think Taika should do it. Fucking anger the half the internet in one fell swoop.
Taika should have done Willow. That's what I say. Should have done Willow.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm actually excited to see what he does with Time Bandits. I think his Time Bandits could be cool. I don't really like the idea that they moved what it sounds like away from little people to children. I think it would have been, I think that's kind of not as fun. And I don't mean it in a carny kind of way either. I just meant it was kind of cool that little people had the lead guy from Time Bandits was great. And so we'll see how it goes, but I'm excited to see what he does. I think that his comedic sensibilities in Time Bandits could make it a big series. Yeah.
What if they're kids, but they're still really old? They just look like kids. So then they can drink and curse and,
right.
There's a way to flip that,
Yeah. I mean, you could do weird face swap stuff too and put adult performances on little people, on kids' bodies. That would be trippy.
It's literally what I thought the Lord of the Rings is going to be. It's the way they described that tech in that issue of Empire magazine I read back in 1999.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it was just forced perspective, right?
Right, but they fucking were way... The way they described it, and I'm not misremembering it incorrectly because they had a whole conversation with James Cameron about Avatar and just, the 3D technology and doing photorealistic alien creatures. That was on point. And there was an interview with George Lucas about the Phantom Menace and the sheer volume of visual effects work that's going to be done in it. That was on point. So, but the using CGI to turn normal actors into fucking little people. I was like, what do you think? The worst parts of the Garbage Pail Kids movie just was running through my head,
Yeah, I was always a little bit oh man, you should have just used little people. That's kind of how I felt about it. And then, but then I was like, yeah, I should have got Warwick Davis. And then I saw the new Will and I was like, oh no, I know why he did that now. Tyrant said, I'd put Oscar Isaac and Adam Driver about on par as best actors from the sequels. Yeah, I think they're both really good. I actually like Oscar Isaac a lot. He hasn't really had outside of Star Wars. I love him in Star Wars. He hasn't had something outside of Star Wars where I'm really fuck yeah, dude. Oh yeah, you're outside of this, you're doing it. Harrison Ford had a lot of those. And, but Adam Driver too, fucking White Noise. God, that was not good.
Yeah, but the Black Klansman, right?
I didn't see that one. How was that?
Yeah, yeah, it was good.
Yeah, yeah. I haven't seen that. And then yeah, he hasn't really done anything like what was it? He did that one movie. It's like a medieval kind of film or
The
something.
Duel.
The Duel. That wasn't a big success though. I don't think that made money. Don't think it did from memory. So
No.
it's like, so my point being, all of these people, they could all end up back in Star Wars, and I think that they all will. And I think that
you keep it up, you're all gonna end up back in Star Wars, bitch.
yeah,
Alden Ehrenreich's trying to get in now before it gets crowded. You know?
right, right. But I mean, like, and to bring it back, like, to the initial topic, I do kind of like, I don't really think that he did anything extraordinarily wrong. I think the right director and the right script and stuff like that, Alden Ehrenreich could make a great Han Solo. Excuse me. I think he really has I think he's a really good actor who really shouldn't have taken that role for that movie at that time. Nobody could have known, but I think that really kneecapped his fucking career that was on the rise. And which is a very common Star Wars thing to happen too, because it's just a matter
if
of
he got to
exposure.
read that script before he signed on, and it was like the Kessel runs a fucking 20,000 leagues under the sea Cthulhu monster, I'd bail out. Like,
no one would read that script. Most people wouldn't read that script and understand what it was really going to be. If I give you the X-wing trench battle as a script right now, you never saw Star Wars, you wouldn't know if that was going to be the most amazing thing.
Yeah. But
now it's nothing. Like that's the kind of thing that you hope comes together in the edit. That's, and you don't know what the visual spectacle is going to be, like how it's going to really carry and stuff. So yeah, but I mean, but I'm with you. I'm with you on the actual what it ended up being, as being less than what it could have been.
Didn't do him any favors.
No,
didn't do him any favors.
No, but once again, that's the failing, I think, of the filmmakers, not necessarily of the actor. I don't think he did anything wrong in his performance of those. I don't think there's anything he could have done to make that more a bit better visual spectacle, or to make the maw less, more memorable. You know what I mean? Like, there's just wasn't really a lot there. So if I were them, I don't like when for instance, I'm going to call this my Ahsoka Tano theory, and oh shit, my computer is not charging. What the fuck happened here? I got 10%. Okay, I'm going to have to wrap it up here. I call it the Ahsoka Tano theory. And that's basically, Ahsoka comes out, she doesn't work, so what do? They keep fucking working it until she works. And then now they have a fan favorite character who's about to probably be peaking this year, and who knows how far it will go. And Alden Ehrenreich was a big investment. It didn't pay off. It wasn't his fault. And I think that they should probably give him some Disney Plus space, and then continue it and see if it grows into people going, yeah, this is Han Solo during the dark times. And if they really, early dark times, and if they really go with it, and if it works.
The problem with that theory, that idea, is that we all know Disney Plus is just a home for Stranger Things, right? So Well, they want Stranger Things and everything now. Like, so how does he fit into a Stranger Things?
Did you ever see that episode where Han Solo visited the spooky planet?
The Upside Dumb. Yeah.
You ever see that?
Yeah.
But
he goes to Dumb Tuing.
If my point is that Aaron Aldenreich is talented enough that if given space, time, things to perform Han Solo in, he'd be fine. He'd do a good job. He'd get it together. Otherwise, they Jar Jar Binks it, where they spend all of this. Jar Jar's the opposite, where they invested a lot of them in Phantom Menace, and then pulled out really hard, and now it hurts that whole trilogy, because you're like, wow, we invested so much into this for very little in the end. Like, you got very little return on the character's investment. And so I think sticking to your guns with characters is the way to go. And eventually it'll connect if it's if it has any kind of potential. And they saw the potential because there is potential. But yeah, it is what it is. But all right. Well, I got like 5% battery, so the computer's going to start slowing down here and everything like that. We'll be back tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel. Thank you to everybody. Thank you Sucked for the super chat, and for everybody for hanging out with us today. And so we'll see you guys tomorrow with whatever the Star Wars news happens to be. All right, Rob, you want to pop it to start?
What?
Pop it to start.
I told you.
That's for me, but I know it's late. I heard like a cyclic music. All right, everyone. We'll see everyone tomorrow. Bye, Rob.
Bye.
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go.